Welcome to Aphra's Artifacts, where we do some archaeology of our own and dig into the queer side of Star Wars. I'm your host, Alia Morgaine, and it's so great to have you here. Well, today we're doing another interview. We are joined by Chase, a.k.a. that gay Jedi. Thank you so much for
Hello.
coming on the show.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I was so bummed I didn't get to hang out with you on Pink Milk. So I'm so happy that we have this time together today. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy to have you.
Thanks.
So, the first question, who is the most relatable character to you in Star Wars?
I think I would have to say, like, well, right away, like Ahsoka. Ahsoka is very relatable to me. But in a similar way, I would say probably Ezra too. Something about the both of them, like feel very like compatible with each other and also with myself because I just feel like they both have that like growing up and trying to find their purpose energy, you know what I mean, that they carry from a
Yeah.
very young age like till like all the way through adulthood. And like that's something that, I like to think that I try to better myself in similar ways, but it with them and with me, I feel like it also comes with like a little bit of like internal angst, you know what I mean? Like sort of like some unsettledness in there too with it. So
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I think I would say those two, I think right now at least are the most relatable to me.
Nice. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. So with Ahsoka, did you like her from the get-go?
Yeah, I did. I totally did. I mean, I think I was like I was never like I was never not a fan of her, but I wasn't like obsessed with her right away, if that makes sense. I just kind
Right.
of was like, I was kind of like, oh, like she's cool, like she's there. And then I was also like, I will say at first I was a little bit confused because I was confused as to, like what the relationship was gonna be like between Anakin and her. I was like, where like what angle are we taking?
Yeah.
But no, she grew on me pretty fast.
Cool. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So then, who is your favorite Star Wars queer character?
That has to be Dr. Aphra, which is perfect for this right now.
Yay! Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's just like so like for better or for worse, she's like so unapologetically herself.
Oh
And
yeah.
she's just like, I don't know, she's everything Han Solo wishes he could be and never will
Yes,
be.
I
Like,
love
you know what I mean?
that. Yes.
Yeah, no, not to hate on Han, but I can just hear M screaming at me right now from Pink Milk. But yeah, no, I just Dr. Aphra is she's the moment. She just really inspires, I think, a lot of people, but myself included, to just sort of like just like turn off the brain and just kind of go, go with the impulse and everything. So I think that's something I really admire in her too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the arc of, and I can't remember which series it was because there have been so many and it gets a little convoluted with all the
Yeah.
different comics. But when she and Han met and had like the awkward, this crazy situation with these like bees,
Yeah.
and they like both were as it basically went terribly for both of them, and it was so funny. It's
Which
just
it would. It's exactly how it would happen, right?
yeah, it
So
was
good.
it was crazy. It was so good. And then
So
you of
good.
course had BT1 and Triple Zero, her two
Incredible.
droids, yeah, with C3PO and R2D2 were there too. So it was like this whole crazy another version of these characters.
Yes.
So it
Yeah.
was pretty good arc.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to go back and read more of her comics because I've only read the book and like just like in like certain like comic issues, but never like full arcs or anything. So I need to go back and like
Yeah.
fully dive into that Afro content.
I will say that this current series by Alyssa Wong is
Yes.
so good.
Is it really good?
It
Okay.
is amazing like how she's able to take a character that she did not write or did not
Yeah.
create, and and I'm not talking about, I mean, yes, lots of people do that. They write Han and they write Leia and Luke and all
Right.
that. But those characters are in our consciousness.
Yeah.
So, like, Dr. Aphra is a character that's much more niche, and to take her and not having created her and write her in a way that it seems like you did create her is
Yeah.
brilliant.
That's awesome to hear.
So
Okay, I'm
it's
definitely gonna
good
check it out.
stuff.
Yeah, I'll check it out. That's good to hear.
Yeah. love the new series.
Also, can
Um,
I ask you a question
oh
just
yeah,
for
yeah,
fun?
yeah.
I'm curious, like, what your favorite thing about Dr. Aphra is.
My favorite thing about Dr. Aphra, I love her heart.
Yeah.
So she does some real sketchy stuff, and but a lot of times what looks like she's when it looks like she's doing something that's really bad,
Hmm.
it's actually subterfuge, and she's like pretending to do something bad, but
Yeah.
really she's not.
Yeah.
Now, there are times when she has programmed Tuca cats to explode. So that's, not very kind. But, and then there was the whole thing with, oh gosh, the, the, police officer from Milvain, Tam Pasla, and his lover, Kason.
Hmm.
So the two of them, which was a queer couple, so that was
Yeah.
super cool.
Love that.
So you've got them, Aphra programmed Kason to run into danger, and like
Mm,
she's done some really bad stuff,
yeah.
but when it comes to people that she truly cares about that really mean something to her,
Hmm.
she never purposely does things bad to those people.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like very loyal. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Like she may accidentally mess up, but we all
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
I love
So
that.
that's what I like about her for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah. Her heart
Yeah.
is absolutely a standout, I think, out of like all Star Wars characters. Her heart stands out for sure.
Yeah. I love that. And my next question, what kind of representation would you like to see more of in Star Wars?
I think there's no like bad kind of representation in the sense of like when it comes to like what we need more of. So like of
Mhm.
course queer and trans characters,
Mhm.
non-binary characters, and people of color. I just feel like so like all of those for sure.
Yeah.
Selfishly, non-binary characters would be great because I identify as non-binary and I would love it's like some more of that action. And it also just feels so natural like to have in space. And overall, I will say I just feel like Star Wars stories should start embodying sort of like the vastness of the Star Wars galaxy at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the franchise has been around for a long time, and it prides itself on being such a vast galaxy. So I think we're getting ready to like start seeing that reflected back in the stories being told.
Yeah, I think High Republic has been doing a really good job
Yes.
of including a lot of queer characters,
Yeah.
and it's made my heart so happy.
Yeah, the work that the High Republic has been doing has just been amazing. Have you been reading the comics? Because I
Yes.
don't know why I have such a weird thing. I can't believe I'm admitting this, but I read a lot of like Marvel comics, but then like Star Wars comics for some reason are harder for me to get into, and I
Uh-huh.
don't know why. I think like I've read like some like the Vader comics I love. I think I
Yeah.
just need to like keep trying if that makes sense. Sometimes with comics I have to kind of keep going back.
Yeah.
But I how do you like the High Republic comics so far?
I really like them. I think the High Republic mainline comic is it's brushing the surface of some really intense introspective issues about being a Jedi and connecting to the
Mm,
Force,
love
but
that.
not like digging into it, like
Yeah.
touching on it and kind of starting to do stuff, but not fully going there. But
Hmm.
the storyline is intriguing and
Good.
fascinating.
Good.
So it's kind of like, what are you looking for
Yeah.
in a comic?
And maybe like because they're kind of just getting started on all of it in a way. Maybe that's like maybe they're just like planting the seeds to go deeper on all of that sort of like introspective what it is to be a Jedi stuff, which would be awesome to like explore more of.
Yeah. And then the High Republic Adventures, so the all ages
Hmm.
one, I love that one.
It looks
It is
so
so
fun. It looks
good.
so much fun.
Yeah, it is so good. And these
Good.
like one of the best characters is Court, and he doesn't even speak basic. Like he just has little like chicken scratch marks as
Yeah.
like words, and
Yeah,
he's great. I love him.
that's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
it's pretty good. It's pretty
Good.
good.
Good to hear.
Um, I actually, so what you were talking about with representation, it brought
Yeah.
me a question, something I've talked about on my show before, and I wonder how you feel about it. With a lot of the non-binary characters that come up in short stories and in novels and things like that, it seems to be more about, oh, we used a certain pronoun,
Yes. Yeah.
so this is a non-binary character,
Yeah. Yeah.
rather than really expanding on what does that mean for that character.
Yeah, I thank you for bringing that up. I think that's a really really good point, and it's something that I also think of, and I think that's also part of the reason why I want like more non-binary characters is because we do have some, but they're almost like defaulted as that because they happen to use like different pronouns, like you
Yeah.
said. So I mean, I would really love it if like, I mean, first of all, I'd always love if like characters were able to like dig deeper and like sort of like explain more about their individual journeys like with gender and sexuality, but at the same time like I don't expect that necessarily from like a Star Wars story. So like
Yeah.
just like even having someone talk about, I mean, Star Wars is so like the like binary as a storytelling motif is embedded in Star Wars, like the binary of everything in Star Wars is just, it's so there. So I just feel like it's so easy to like slip in a line about a character not fitting into a binary or choosing not to be in a binary as it relates to their gender. So I think
Yeah.
that it would just be really cool to have like, you know, a little empowered moment to like have a character be specifically non-binary and use those words honestly. I mean, I know that they're like our earth human words, but
Yeah.
it'd be cool. It'd be cool.
I agree for sure. Because that's definitely something that has, it's something that I think needs to be addressed. And so I think I'm glad that I'm not crazy for thinking
No,
that.
honestly, no. I'm seriously glad you brought it up because I haven't talked about it with anyone, but that's always something that's like rubbed me just like weird. Like I'm like, oh, that's like cool. But then I'm also like, is it cool? Because it's really just them saying they use a different pronoun and I'm kind of like projecting this idea onto them.
Yeah.
So it's like a really, no, I thank you for bringing it up. Yeah, it's a great point.
Maybe one day, hopefully.
Maybe one day. I love to think that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then my last question, how is it for you as a queer person to be in the Star Wars fandom?
Overall, I mean, it's amazing. Like there's so much support and just so much love that I'm like really genuinely grateful for every day. And like it enhances my experience of Star Wars and consuming Star Wars. So very grateful for that. But then of course, like it kind of just comes without with the territory that
Mm.
there are going to be some like hateful comments and like those come and go. And they go actually because of the support that is there, you know, the overall
Yeah.
support and like love that I experience and like fandom day to day is like what kind of like keeps the hateful things coming and going and not sticking around, at least like in my psyche, if that makes sense. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit tricky right now with the whole announcement of Star Wars Eclipse,
Hmm.
which is like a whole other thing, but other than that, you know, it's pretty good, it's pretty good. But yeah.
Yeah, I just today had to, one of my um good friends messaged me the YouTube video of that trailer, and then I had to be like, yeah, it looks really awesome, but I was
Yeah,
like, did some stuff, wrote some stuff, and then he Googled and was like, oh.
it's pretty intense.
So
Yeah, and like
yeah.
I encourage everyone to read up on it because the information's out there and it's pretty like it's pretty egregious. And yeah. So and
Yeah.
it, you know, I like the idea of I mean the game looks awesome, I'm not gonna lie, of course it looks great, and I'm happy that we're getting some content like sort of like High Republic prequels vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like one of those moments where we all gotta like make a choice at some point to like, you know, engage or not engage. But I think what's
Yeah.
important to like remember as for like allies and or just fans who like might not be like feel like super affected by this is like
Mhm.
queer fans are constantly having to put their queerness in a box to experience fandom and to like consume media within fandom. And I think
Yeah.
that like we're kind of like it's I like the idea of us not having to do that anymore. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know if this is exactly what you were um getting at, but I know for me, reading Out of the Shadows,
Mm.
the High Republic young adult novel, the the relationship between Jordana Sparkburn and Sylvester Yarrow, like that gave me like giddy feelings, you
Oh, I
know,
love that. I
like
love
it
that.
it made me the the way that a very heteronormative relationship would not have given me
Yeah.
the same like this is so cute
Oh,
you know.
I love
So
that.
so that was definitely really I really liked being able to have that same like young love, but it being a queer young love.
Yeah.
So that was really, really nice for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, I that's awesome to hear. And yeah, that's the thing also like I talk about is like when representation does happen, it's like such a beautiful thing. And it's something that like I think for anyone who feels representation starved or like like hungry for their kind of representation, to see it is such a relief that like is kind of like hard to explain because it's like something that you like work for to see and everything. And then one day it's just there and it's like you don't have to work and you can just enjoy, you know, you can just
Yeah.
enjoy what you're experiencing, which is
Yeah.
such a powerful thing. Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so, so much for coming on the
Thank you.
show.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on YouTube. I'm that gay Jedi on YouTube or Twitter at _ that gay Jedi.
Very nice. So, for everybody listening, thank you so much for joining us. And remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at Alia Morgaine, and peruse my blog at the Star Wars Review.blogspot.com. May the Force be with you.